Hello and welcome to CoreTV News of the Hour. I am Olaji Mokil Latiji. The presidency has affirmed that President Muhammadu Buhari will not extend his corruption probe beyond the administration of former President Goodluck Jonathan. Buhari, who just returned from a 4-day official visit to the United States, has consequently vowed to investigate and bring to book persons who looted the country's funds. The president said on Tuesday in the U.S. that he would arrest and prosecute past ministers and other officials who stole Nigeria's oil and diverted government's money into personal accounts. But the president's special advisor on media and publicity, Femi Adesina, said the president will limit his anti-corruption war to the immediate past administration in the country. He said Buhari will not waste time in probing the administrations of former presidents Olusegun Obasanjo, Abdulsalam Abubakar, Sani Abacha, and Ibrahim Babangida. President Muhammadu Buhari on Friday has said there was no truth in the local and international media that he accused or indicted the United States government of helping the terrorist group Boko Haram. In a statement by Special Advisor and Media and Publicity Femi Adesina, the president described the report as widely off mark. He described the report as unfortunate, misinterpretation and distortion of his remarks at the United States Institute of Peace during his official visit to Washington, D.C. He said and made it clear in those remarks, copies of which were circulated to the media, that he was convinced that the United States could never support groups such as Boko Haram. President Muhammadu Buhari has said that he promises that Nigeria will continue to work in collaboration with the African Union and the international community for the achievement of reconciliation and lasting peace in South Sudan. A statement by his special advisor in media and publicity, Femi Adesina, quoted the president as speaking while granting audience to the United Nations High Representative for South Sudan, Alpha Kume Konare. Adesina said the president urged the governments of South Sudan and other political factions in the country to start implementing the various peace agreements reached under the auspices of the United Nations, the AU, and the Intergovernmental Authorities on Development in Eastern Africa. The president was reported to have said that compliance with the agreements by all parties to the dispute in South Sudan was an essential first step towards returning the country to the path of peace, stability, and development. The UN representative told Buhari that violence and regrettably continued in South Sudan in spite of several peace agreements. But some senators elected on the platform of the People's Democratic Party have warned some unnamed politicians against unleashing the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission on members of the National Assembly. They issued the warning against the backdrop of the EFCC invitation to the wife of the Senate President to appear before it on Tuesday next week. In a statement signed by Senator Peter Nwoboshi, representing Delta North Senatorial District, the lawmakers said any attempt to use the anti-graft agencies and members of the National Assembly as a result of the leadership crisis would not only be constitutionally resisted, but could also have dire consequences on governance in the country. Senator Nwoboshi argued that as much as the lawmakers were not against anti-corruption agencies performing their statutory duties, the invitation by EFCC to the wife of the Senate President is pointed to threats by a group of lawmakers that it will use all means to fight the leadership. The chairman of PDP in Delta State wondered what EFCC was waiting for before inviting Mrs. Saraki more than 4 years after leaving when government housed with her husband in 2011. He sees it as a reflection of a threat by Senator that his group and their sponsors will bring the Senate President down. There has been an improvement in the revenue available for distribution among the federal states and local governments from the Federation account for the second month running. All three tiers are sharing 518.54 billion naira for June in the aftermath of improved oil sales. Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Finance, Anastasia Nwokobe, briefed journalists at the end of the meeting. We'll bring you the details in a subsequent bulletin. While the Chief of Army Staff, Major General Tekal Buratai, says the era of troops taking up defensive positions against terrorists and other criminals is now over. He said this on the occasion of the combined graduation ceremony for Basic Airborne Course 7 and Basic Registrar Course 23 held at the Airborne Drop Zone of the Nigerian Army School Infantry. Nasir Jaji. The Chief of Army Staff insists that under his watch, troops would take the battle to insurgents with a view to dislodging them from wherever they are.
These are members of airborne troops showing their abilities to drop behind enemy lines in warfare. They have just completed a course and are keen on displaying their newly acquired skills. The Chief of Army Staff, Major General Buratai, says he expects them to go to great length to discharge their duties. He also insists that the troops could be more proactive in going after insurgents.
As you prepare to depart to the mission area, I must warn you to avoid untoward incidents that could tarnish the image of the Nigerian Army in particular and the nation in general.
The commandant of the Army School of Infantry have earlier declared that the airborne troops are prepared for the task of defending the nation's territorial integrity.
That the Nigerian Army Peacekeeping Center, in its mandate, has the responsibility of providing quality training for troops earmarked for peace support operations. This is to prepare them for the contemporary multidimensional peacekeeping environment, which has become more dynamic and complex.
And just as he did other field visits, the Chief of Army Staff joined officers and men in some physical activities.
The National Agency for Food and Drug Administration and Control, NAFDAC, has accused the former staff behind recent corruption allegations against the Director General of blackmail. It described the alleged whistleblower as a former Director of Finance and Accounts who had been under investigation for sundry offenses. NAFDAC Director of Special Duties Abubakar Jimo told CoreTV News that the agency is also looking at the possibility of a connivance to the drug counterfeits and cartel.
All the allegations made by the former Director of Finance that we're talking about does not mean it assaults its sensibilities, it assaults intelligence, it stands reason on its own head totally. So you cannot begin to, because it doesn't make sense at all. In the last, since 2010, this man has been has been superintending over payment of contract, award of contract, pursuing the beginning from the award to the end, the due processes involved, interfacing with the Bureau of Public Enterprise, Public Procurement, Bureau for Public Procurement. He is the anchor person interfacing with them.
So watching CoreTV News, and now we'll take a break now. I'll be back on my stories. Please stay with us.
This is what the people are saying.
You don't run a big economy with generator. They need to do more in terms of energy and power.
Many things to do for this Nigeria about lights, water, and new TT.
For Nigerians that are not gullible, we know that good laws have done nothing good for this country.
Buhari won the election convincingly.
Talk to her husband that you should keep promise about what you said, and because people are watching you, you know, another election is coming.
Because some people will strong for Yoruba land. Will be strong man. We don't die.
This nation is moving forward. The best is going to take place.
The people giving voice to the voiceless.
As news breaks, people don't let events pass without giving their comment or reactions.
When the problem arises in society, these are the people that should be consulted.
To cleanse the corruption in society, we are not to provide information for good life and also security of life and property in this country.
The academic society have the loudest voice on this platform.
Whether you call it a sovereign national conference or a national conference, it's about the people of Nigeria.
There should be a change in power.
In any way they can do it.
I think there's a script already.
Every Tuesday at 8:45 p.m. on this station. From the Ivory Tower, a must-watch for the learning minds.
Welcome back. For more on our news and other programs, please visit our Facebook page at www.facebook.com/CoreTV News. You can follow us on Twitter at CoreTV News NG. Also visit our YouTube channel at youtube.com/CoreTV. Leave a space, then news. The crisis rocking the Ekiti State chapter of the People's Democratic Party has taken a new twist. The state government and the PDP faction loyal to Ayo Fayose has accused the Olatunde faction of the campaign to the APC. But the Olatunde faction denied the allegation as they berated the state government of creating discord and not fulfilling its promises to the party and those who worked for the success of the party at the polls. Rashid has more.
We don't mind. Like that, our brother in the party secretariat, let him go to APC. Because he's working with them, let's have some peace. We have left the secretariat for him to enjoy. Because he's a cook plotter.
With that, it is obvious that the center cannot hold anymore, and the assertion that the ones being referred to by Ayo Fayose has actually dumped the party altogether for the All Progressives Congress. This echoed reactions from the other faction led by Tunde Olatunde and Tope Aluko debunking the rumor.
The author who threw it to the newspaper, may God grant him the grace to walk and never to eat. Because we have labored for PDP, it is true there may be issues between the party and the government, but it's being addressed.
The secretary of the party, Tope Aluko, says the governor has erred on the constitution of the party, which is causing ripples and underfunding.
Mr. Governor is a major beneficiary of the party structure, and all other National Assembly members or House of Assembly members, they are major beneficiaries. And what is expected constitutionally is 10% deduction back to the party.
As the trade of words continue, the Olatunde faction says they remain the authentic and recognized party leadership in Ekiti State.
He will wake up, report at governor's office. That is where he chairmans his own people. He's a chairman of government house.
With the trade of words showing no sign of abating, more drama may not be far from the sleeves of these factions in time to come. Rashid, CoreTV News, Ado Ekiti.
The Nigerian authorities have flagged off the intercity train service from Kano to Port Harcourt. The managing director of the Nigerian Railway Corporation, Adesheyi Shijuade, says in his welcome address that the train service would go a long way in boosting business activities between the north and south of the country. Kano State Governor Abdullahi Ganduje was represented at the occasion by the Speaker of the House of Representatives, Al-Hussein Dangiwa.
In Kano, crisscrossing Benue markets to the far eastern markets in Enugu, Abia, and River states, paralyzed due to lack of rail transport between the northwestern axis and the eastern part of the country. However, in view of the ongoing reforms efforts by the Nigerian Railway Corporation, train services are now being resuscitated in phases across the country. This newly introduced train service comprises two 68-seater air-conditioned modern first-class passenger coaches, which will be conveying our dignitaries today, a restaurant coach for comfort on board, and several standard class coaches. It traverses a rail distance of 1,139 kilometers stretching from Kano to Port Harcourt, with stops at Madobi, Dangora, Kura, Zaria, Kaduna Junction, Zonkwa, Kafanchan, Wasai, Lafia, Ayarugu, Makurdi, Otoko, Ihamufu, Enugu, Ovim, Amaba, Umuahia, and Aba stations. To benefit from the reforms efforted by the NRC, we record that the Lagos to Kano Intercity Passenger Service was launched here in Kano City in 2012, several years after traffic had been suspended on this route. Despite recent security challenges, Kano still remains the commercial nerve center of northern Nigeria, attracting trade and economic integration with other parts of the country and neighboring countries. It is a state with a high population and excellent demographic attributes and other potentials. The relevance and the President of Functional Railway to serve the need of the people of Kano State, and those coming to do business here in Kano can therefore not be overemphasized, as the rail is not only affordable but has the hard capacity to not only move people en masse, but by its nature, the rail mode passes through the rural areas where most of our people reside. The government of Kano State is committed to the safety and comfort of our people, and it is within this purview that Kano State will be willing to partner NRC because we are interested in helping our people move their farm produce to the market.
The Akwa Ibom State Governorship Elections Petitions Tribunal sitting in Abuja has dismissed an application challenging its jurisdiction to hear the petition. The Justice Sadiq Umar-led three-member panel ruled that the tribunal has jurisdiction to continue to hear the matter in Abuja. Justice Umar upheld the arguments of counsel to the petitioner, Wali Olanikbekun, that the recent kidnapping of judges in some states necessitated the relocation of the tribunal out of the state. He also rejected the submission by defense counsel Adegboyega Awomolo that the tribunal was relocated from Akwa Ibom to Abuja without fair hearing for Governor Emmanuel Udom and the People's Democratic Party. The tribunal chairman explained that the ruling on the application challenging jurisdiction was not given earlier to allow the Court of Appeal to deliver ruling on similar application pending before it. 30 witnesses called by the All Progressives Congress has so far testified that there was no governorship election in the states. The Economic and Financial Crimes Commission has invited Kingsley Kuku, who is the former Special Advisor on Niger Delta Affairs, to ex-President Goodluck Jonathan for questioning. Kuku, who also heads the Presidential Committee on Amnesty, is expected to tell EFCC investigators all he knows about alleged embezzlement and fraudulent diversion of funds running into hundreds of millions of naira. EFCC spokesman Wilson Uju-Jaren confirms the developments but would not give details of the allegation. He added that Kuku has been directed to appear before a team of interrogators at the EFCC office on Tuesday, July 28th. The police in Ibadan on Friday rearranged the 31-year-old ex-banker Ogunshola Israel over an alleged 19.5 million naira fraud. Israel was arraigned at an Iyagoko Chief Magistrates Court on 3 charges bordering on stealing and fraudulent transaction. He was previously arraigned on August 24, 2012 before Magistrate Shola Adekojoye. Israel had pleaded not guilty to the charges preferred against him and was granted bail in the sum of 5 million naira. Adebusoye told the court that the accused committed the offense between July 2011 and March 2012 within the premises of Stanbic IBTC PLC, Ring Road in Ibadan. The magistrate, A.A. Adebusi, held that the accused was allowed to continue with the previous bail terms. He adjourned the case to August 27 for hearing. Gani Adams, the factional leader of the Oodua People's Congress, on Friday sympathized with the Arekwa community and Nigerians over the Wednesday pipeline explosion that killed more than 100 people. This is contained in a statement issued by Yinka Oguntimehi, the OPC Director of Media and Publicity in Lagos. According to the statement, similar deaths were recorded in Ikorodu and Ijedodo areas of Lagos, with another recorded in Bayelsa deals with the activities of pipeline vandals. He further recalled that while OPC men worked at the site of the pipeline in Arekpo, the people of the community had a sense of safety and linked the present vandalism on politics and federal government's withdrawal of contracts from the OPC. Squads of placard-carrying students on Friday morning stormed the Federal High Court in Lagos in continuation of their protest against the alleged plan by the Registrar of the Joint Admission Matriculation Board, Professor Dibu Ojeride, to stop them from writing entrance examinations into the University of Lagos for this year's admission. The students went to court in 2 BRT vehicles, were led by one of the lawyers, Alex Okedegbe. The Youth Business Leaders of Nigeria organizes business summit meant to reduce the level of unemployment and bring in youth in making use of the creativity of modern technology. The summit also entails getting youth to understand business terrain and how to go about their businesses.
the YBN and this event is not all about entrepreneurship. Now, what we've identified as one of the ways we can solve unemployment is to enhance the capacity of young people who are entrepreneurially inclined to help and put in their own effort in trying to solve the unemployment crisis.
What I find is that a lot of young people just need direction. They need to be guided. They need to understand the terrain, the business terrain that they are navigating. So why do you want them to make the same mistakes that you made? Mentoring is about getting people to take advantage of your own experiences, positive and negative, learning from them, maximizing them and using it for their own benefit.
Realizing that there's a difficulty is 50% of the solution, which means you have to reach into your inner self, tell yourself that you're not going to go under. That's the first thing. Once you make that promise, then you step out. And in any area you find yourself, whether you're going to do a business, get good advice. If you get capital, be prudent about it. If you have an expensive lifestyle, cut it, because it's not going to work at this material time. Go get into a savings culture, because savings help you when the rainy day comes.
And outside Nigeria, U.S. President Barack Obama arrived in Kenya late Friday, his first visit to the country of his father's birth since his election as president. Air Force One touched down at Nairobi's International Airport, marking the start of a weekend visit during which the president will address an entrepreneurship summit and hold talks on trade and investment, security and terrorism, democracy and human rights. Obama was greeted by Kenyan President Uhuru Kenyatta with a handshake and embrace as a step of Air Force One. A massive security operation was also underway to protect Obama. Parts of the Kenyan capital, Nairobi, have been locked down. An Air Force closed during the president's arrival late Friday and his departure late Sunday for neighboring Ethiopia. Top of the list of security concerns is Somalia's Shabab militants who have staged a string of suicide attacks, massacres and bombings in Kenyan soil, including a bloody attack on the Westgate shopping mall in the heart of the capital nearly 2 years ago that left 67 people dead. Excitement has been building in Kenya for weeks, with the visit painted as a major boost for the country's position as an African hub. Just days before the United States is to release a timely global report on human trafficking, Thai authorities announced 72 trafficking suspects already in custody are to be indicted on related charges, while warrants have been issued for the arrest of 45 additional people. No bail will be granted to any of these indicted, according to authorities, as among those being held is Army Lieutenant General Manas Kompan. Thailand's sweeping crackdown in May has also netted 14 other officials, including 4 police officers, and while the Deputy National Police Chief, Skanga Namos, characterized as Thailand's biggest investigation into human trafficking. Thailand's move against the smuggling networks came after more than 24 bodies were discovered in jungle graves near sites of suspected people smuggling camps along the Thai-Malaysian border. But that's it, a wrap on CoreTV News on the Arm, and thanks for watching. I am Olajumoke Olatuji. Good afternoon.